Here we go. Yo, I got something to say. When I say it, you better listen up. It's your boy Frank Lee, aka Frank the host. I'm in V20 Records right now. We're doing a Saturday Spotlight, and we have a few artists in here. I'm gonna have everyone say their name. I need you all to do me a huge favor and go follow everyone right now. And then we have other people here that's not here at the table, and they'll come out and we'll join them in this conversation. So, starting from you, name.
All right, it's your boy KT Aristotle.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Vinny Boy.
Lenny Wells, LENNYWELLZ.
My name is KD23.
Name is Lele Flames, aka Let 'em Know Lay. Go follow me on Instagram at Lay with the Legs.
Yes, sir. So, and I'm Frank the host. You already know. This is the podcast. The show's called IGSS. I got something to say for a reason, because all of us had something to say. We had a story, we had the way we feel. We brought up two topics before we got on here, so we're going to talk about those two topics and then kind of like let it flow. So, we were talking, which one are we going to go first with?
Say that Andre and Eminem.
No. You make the statement again. You say what you said.
Nah, but I feel like Andre 3000, the statement what I noticed. Okay. So Waka Flocka had posted on Instagram that 3 Sacks was a better rapper than Eminem. And I agree, 100%. Like, I feel like people give Eminem too much credit.
The question I had for a few people a couple months ago, do we give Eminem the white card? He's a white rapper who can rap. Do we give him that pass, the white pass?
Yes, absolutely. I think so, because he's white, like not even trying to pull the race thing, but it's like, okay, I got bars, bro got bars all across the room. But if a white dude came in with bars, you'd be like, oh, he got bars.
Then he's going next.
You feel me? He got bars. They'd keep talking about it. It would just be a shocker, because that's not used to the culture that somebody outside of the black race will come and start rapping.
Even on my fault.
You go ahead.
Oh nah, but I was about to say, even on the show Rhythm and Flow, the dude, I feel like they were good artists, of course, but I feel like it was other artists that could have made it even further. Like the dude with the glasses, I feel like I forgot his name, but he was one of the finalists. I feel like he was a great artist, but I guess for the topic, I feel like it was definitely more artists. The chick from Chicago, she was, I forgot her name, but she, the queen chick, she was Revolution. I feel like she had a better message, or I guess she could have been promoted.
Delivery.
To
get back on everything. For me, with the Eminem Andre 3 Stacks debate, it's actually one of my goals and dreams, aspirations, to put those two MCs on the same track. I just want to say that before I say anything else.
I love that.
That's actually a dream of mine, to put Andre 3 Stacks and Eminem on the same track, kind of like Jay-Z and Eminem got to do Renegade. I think Jay-Z is a great MC. Eminem is a great MC as well, but I think Andre 3000 is unmistakably one of the best MCs, highly underrated. Not even underrated. I think people know the kind of capacity Andre 3000 brings to the table. Several artists over the history of time said, when I get in the studio with Andre 3000, I have to go rewrite my verse. I have to rethink what I came in with. Several MCs, top tier MCs have said this. And for that to be a consistent dialogue, it's serious. Like, he releases a verse maybe once every couple years now, and when he drops a verse, it's still as relevant as when he was with Outkast.
Crazy. I brought up and I'm glad you brought it back, but I brought up the white card because I don't think that we dismiss Eminem.
Right.
But that was a statement that someone said, and that's Master P said that.
Right.
Master P said we give Eminem the white card, the white pass. That's what Master P said. Okay. And it was the same conversation because they were talking about Eminem and 3 Sacks.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, I had to go back and listen to Renegade again, and because everyone said that Eminem had Jay-Z on that joint.
I don't agree.
Go back and listen to it again. He did not.
I don't agree with that.
Back then, we thought Eminem, but no.
Jay-Z was really speaking about Jay-Z pushes culture, and I think a lot of people when they listen to Jay-Z, they're not ready for the culture to be elevated to the capacity in which Jay-Z does it. Jay-Z talks about his life and where he is and where he came from. A lot of times people can't see where they can't see past their nose to know how to elevate life. Jay-Z raps about how to elevate life and where he is, and you can do it too.
Yeah.
Why don't you go do what I did?
Yeah.
That's what I get from Jay. When I listen to Jay, that's what I get.
One of my favorite rappers. I like that. And I personally think in this conversation, 3 Stacks is definitely is a better rapper.
For sure.
I think the content, like, and if you listen to Eminem, one thing I do like him, he's just consistent at being him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Eminem's gonna do him. Like, you can be mad at him. I'm saying he got bars, this and this in the rap game. You have to be consistent, and you got to do you. If you try to be someone else, you will lose yourself.
Facts.
Eminem has been consistently himself, no matter what. If he's talking about Barbies and whatever he's talking about, like, that's exactly what he's gonna talk about on the same track with a Jay-Z or Andre 3000.
Right.
That's him.
Yeah.
So we have to give him that. We got to give him that. But if you're talking about bar for bar, no.
I just think as far as like his artistry as a whole, Andre 3000 has more of a presence than Eminem.
It's good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. And creativity, you know,
for sure.
Andre has always been really
Even if
creative.
you listen to the prime example, International Players Anthem, if you hear him break everything down and then the video and just all the creativity, and you just listen to the bars, like, who would even think to, oh, I'm about to rap about the wedding, and bar for bar, and make you feel it and make you visualize it, even if you don't watch the video. Like, he'll make you, Andre definitely.
I feel like Eminem would leave your head spinning in circles.
Yeah.
He gonna have you run
Say
it back.
Eminem
Andre
really
gonna have
not
you pause and just sit there
relatable.
and think about it.
Man, that was like,
Yeah, I agree, and that's why, like I said, I would love to produce a track with Andre 3000 and Eminem. I don't even want to see them battle, because I think the battle will come out in the intensity of them creating the material. I think they both will bring their best selves to the table. Like, if they ever touch a track together, that would be iconic. That would be like, that's like a kid. Like, if you can get a gift on Christmas, that's the gift.
Hip hop is we have the competitive side of hip hop, and then we have the collaborative side in hip hop. And if that was the case, that would probably be something crazy.
Yeah.
I would love that. You know, like, just like everyone's waiting to hear more from J. Cole and Kendrick.
Together. Yeah.
We want to hear that, and I think that'll be something that would be super dope.
Super dope.
We always hear this thing comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Eminem and 3 Stacks always, and then I always feel like a lot of people just don't know how good Andre is,
I think that's the case.
and I'm always like, yo, like, you have to, like, be hidden under a rock to not know this dude is a monster. Like,
Facts.
it's a fact why people don't battle him. He started out as a battle rapper. Matter of fact, there's a reason why people don't do that. They like, I don't think you should do that, bro. You committing artist suicide right now, like, legit. And
Even to throw another name out there, Toby.
yes,
He even credits Andre 3 Stacks as being his favorite artist in the Sway freestyle. You know, like, for me, it's just, he sets a bar that you want to achieve. Like, I think Eminem's cadence, his wordplay is definitely witty. You definitely tell he read the dictionary. Andre 3000 just has a certain gospel to how he delivers his material and content. Not saying Eminem can't do that, but Andre 3000 he knows how to tap your brain and make you pay attention, make you listen, make you digest, make you vibe, make you feel and like what he's doing. It's something about that. You can't put it in. I can keep talking, but it can't be put into words. I've seen 2 Outkast concerts in my lifetime, and
I wish.
it's just like it's just one of the most mind-blowing things I've ever seen. I wish I could have went and saw him in Coachella, but it's probably the last time that they probably will perform. And I don't know how long, but that was just, it's something about that energy is just crazy.
yeah, I mess with that. Well, shouts out to you, Andre. If you ever listen to this, we will all love you to perform again. And you never know. You can come to the spotlight.
Yeah.
I have you, you know. Cool. So the next topic that we talked about was, what was the other one?
Somebody brought up Juice World. They were talking about how in Future they were trying blaming drug rappers, like they trying to blame certain rappers, or they talk about how even Joyner Lucas has spoke on it. He said that he was saying it's hip hop fault that Juice World had passed away, kind of, sorta, and that stuff like that. And I was just thinking about it because it's not really Juice WRLD fault, because I feel like even outside of hip hop and stuff like that, even with the healthcare field, that's the first thing they want to do. And even with black families and everything, they don't talk about mental health. So of course Juice WRLD will feel like, okay, I'm gonna go take this pill, because even if I go to the doctor gonna give me that pill. So it's just like, it's an outlet. And even when Juice WRLD was living, rest in peace Juice WRLD, he spoke on that. He spoke on anxiety and depression and stress and everything like that. It wasn't just like that was what he wanted to do. He did it because he felt like he needed to.
Personally, I can't say why or how he did what he did. But I wouldn't blame hip hop for it. Personally, I think once you get to a certain place in time, achieve a certain accolade, it only magnifies the person that you are. It doesn't change you. And I think sometimes we may need certain individuals to help us find our way or find out where we need to be. And sometimes in Juice WRLD's situation, it may have been a little too late, where, like you said, he was dealing with anxiety, and having the right people in his corner to help him progress through those situations or figure out alternatives through those situations. I just watched an interview with, who was it? Meek Mill. He was talking about the drug epidemic in music. He was like, some of these artists use that as fuel to escape and create the sounds and the music that they do. He said he don't think a lot of these artists could create some of these sounds, some of these rhymes, without being intoxicated off of these substances. So it's just something to think about. Like, is it the hip hop's fault? Is it the pharmaceutical drug company's fault? Or is it the individual that chooses to take these drugs to either enhance or to loosen up?
Yeah. I had my whole take on that. You want to say that?
I feel like I was just gonna add to what they're saying. I'm like, what is the difference between that and the athletes taking steroids? You get what I'm saying? If that's what they're saying, that's for. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's right, but that may be the case. And plus, like you said, an emotional, anxiety. I don't see what's wrong with, if that's what you want to do, as long as you're not, I guess it's.
I would say you can't. I don't believe in blame. You can't really blame anything, because for every action there's always the opposite of equal reaction. So I mean, it could have just been his environment, the people around him. You can't really blame Future or anybody in rap. Future even said he doesn't do majority of the stuff he was talking about. So for us to sit here and try to blame or try to put the, to put somebody out there hey, maybe it's his fault. I feel like humans do that too much. And instead of looking at the system as a whole and the whole ecosystem, we always pinpoint, oh yeah, that's the cause. Or that's and it's I think that kind of takes away from what can we do to actively keep this from happening.
True.
So
my take on a lot of stuff. Now, I actually watched last year as a kid that I had on my podcast. He was backstage with Juice WRLD, was on tour with him for a little bit. Wasn't on stage with him. I mean, he was on stage with him, but he wasn't doing anything. But he has a couple of #1 singles. He's a local artist. Long story short, I'm I'm quite sure you don't want that on your live right now, that way.
Yeah.
So I don't put no blame. I do think that as artists or people who create, need to learn how to be able to find those releases and learn how to create without having the substance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you have longevity. You'll find longevity because the more stuff you put in your body, this is what you get dependent on, legit. You know what I'm saying? Period. I mean, I'm talking about food, everything, like everything. You know what I'm saying? So I feel sorry for the kid. I do feel like, you know, there had to be someone saying, yo, chill out with that. But there's always someone there like, no, here's more of that.
Right.
And I talk about that because one of my good friends, long story short, I'm not going to give the long story, but it's actually in the newspaper. His cousin is very well known. If I drop his name, everybody in here would know who his cousin is. Very wealthy boxer, put it that way. All right? Long story short, finds his cousin in the alley off of drugs. He said when he moved with his cousin, he said he had more access to more drugs. He said the drugs was really kind of like what aided him to be able to do what he did. Okay?
Wow.
So there was always be an opportunity when you get bigger to have more access to more things.
Sure.
But you have to have the control and then also have the release to be able to go and create and be able to do what you do without having those dependents. You have to be in control of yourself. Like, and his story, we've had some crazy talks about a lot of the stories, a lot of things. And the mental health thing, all that stuff like that all plays a part. But again, the biggest thing after talking to a lot of artists is not having the release. One thing you hit me up, tell you and your partners get together sometime and just go out and whatever.
Right.
That is that is so big because a lot of times artists, they get so caught up in doing this and recording and stuff and never find the time really kind of just take a step back and just be. You know, I am Frank the host, but I'm Frank too. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? And not live on that pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, here's my close knit circle. I have a core set of friends, and this seems like doesn't go with Juice WRLD, but it goes with Juice WRLD because my core set of friends, I give them permission to be able to come in and tell me, yo, Frank, you're tripping right now. Stop. And the same guy I talked about right now. One time, true story, I was going to the show. I was going crazy. 2 or 3 months, I was going crazy. I was out. I was doing everything that I could. And I was away more than I was home. We just had a kid, my first kid, and my homie said,
"Congratulations."
Thank you. That was then. I have 4 now. but so my homie said, Frank, he said, I think you should stay home. I said, nah, I'm going, bro, man. We got a show tonight. I'm going. It's a big one. He said, nah. He said, you should stay home. So I'm going. He's like, okay. Hung up. Okay. Called me back like 2 seconds later. I heard his door close. Boom. He said, nah, you stay at home. And if I see you there, I'm going to fight you. And he was serious. Here's the thing. I knew he was serious. I knew he was going to fight me. I knew he was going to fight me for the sake of my family.
Right.
And so you see, as much as that, like in the hip hop community or in music community, that's not celebrated.
Right.
You know, we're not gonna talk about that.
Not gonna show it.
Yeah, we're not gonna show it.
Right.
But that was so necessary for him to do that to me, because I know he has my best interest at heart. And your core circle has to have your best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? They see you as the artist. They see you as what everyone else sees you as, but they also see you as my brother, our person and knowing exactly. And I know, I want to see you succeed, and I want to make sure you're healthy and your family. That was like, that's why he will forever be my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has my back. If he called me now and said, I need you to come get right now to Delaware to get me, I'm getting in the car and I'm going to Delaware to get him.
Right.
Straight up. And I think Juice WRLD, and I'm not saying he didn't have it, but I promise you they weren't strong enough to be able to say, I'm going to slap that out your hand if you take one more.
Because of his status, and they probably felt like, okay, if I tell him this, he probably not going to look out for me and this is that way. But I don't know, like, even with myself, when you say that you got to find different outlets, like, I used to feel like, oh, maybe if I go smoke right now, if I drink, do this, do that, I feel like my music would be better than I got to one point one day. What if they take everything from me right now and I'm across the country or overseas or wherever, and I got to go perform, and I'm like, nah, I need this or I need that. I'd be SOL, you feel me? So I had to get to a point where I can create without all these extra sedatives and stuff like that.
I commend that. I think you and I were talking, Lay, about circles and having the right people around and learning outlets. Like, really, music is an outlet. Like, for me, it's an outlet. It allows me to express some of the things I've been thinking, some of the things I've been feeling, and it allows me to put my emotion on record. Whether someone can relate to it, hear it, and see where my mindset was at that time, that's what I'm hoping for. You know what I mean? But that circle, having that immediate circle that can hold you accountable for your actions, that's hard to find. And if you don't have that, you should really evaluate who is around you and try to find the people that are really putting you, like you said, your friend was ready to fight you, bro. Like, if you would have made that move, we need that. Like, we need that.
For real.
Nah, but I guess what I was trying to say, I keep, addressing it. Nobody addressing the fact that he had 70 pounds. Juice WRLD ain't smoking 70 pounds or selling 70 pounds at that status.
So whoever was on the plane with him is not real in his circle.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
They put that on him as well.
That's fucked up.
Or,
you know what I mean? A dead man, bro.
Yeah, or like, whoever, whatever party or whatever they had going on, the Juice WRLD probably funded that for them or something. They just put it all on him because, and the thing is though, they tried to put it all on him. And that's why he did what he did. He thought that consuming the Percocets that he had, he would be good. But it caused him to have a seizure, caused him to die, unfortunately. But whoever, that goes right back to the circle. Whoever was on the plane.
70 pound perks?
No, 70 pounds.
He had 70 pounds of weed.
Oh, I figured that, but I was making sure, like 70 pounds. You had 70 pounds of perk, bro. So he had a doctor with him. He had a doctor with him for real. Yeah. But they can get that stuff. You can get that stuff pretty easy too, as well. Yeah, I mean it is, and you got to have some people who really know what's good. You were talking about health earlier, and the thing is that my friend, I told you, when coming out the whole situation with his family, he learned about the body, and he was like, yo, like that's the reason why I don't do what I used to do, because I know my body can't take it. My body wasn't built that way. So that's when I was learning about. He was teaching me about. He was sending me stuff about beef, fish, chicken, lettuce. This dude he was educating me on, like, he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? And so then he started to educate me, and this is the reason why I don't do this, and I don't drink. If I drink, I drink some lemon water. And this dude was like straight up like, you got to get all that stuff out of your system. So he would drink some lemon water. You drink last night. Drink some lemon water this morning. Drink lemon water all day today. It's gonna flush your system because your organs can't take it. Like, he would explain that. And so you got to have some things in your circle. That's crazy at 70 pounds, and that's crazy they put it on him too. But again, your circle. I think you have to be intentional personally to build that around you. Like, period. I identify with these people right here. That's my core. That's where I go express myself. I can talk. I can even cry, because most men we claim we don't cry, but I can cry with my partners. You know what I'm saying? Because you talk about things, and they ain't gonna clown me. You know what I'm saying? Or they might clown me, but
they gonna say about you first. They gonna say about you first.
Exactly.
Make sure you kosher. Because I know if I'm feeling some kind of way, KD'd be like, yo, bro, just let it go. Like, just let it go. It ain't that big. But he also let me express what I'm feeling, get it out. Like, yo, you have my rah-rah moment and go off, and then it's like, okay, cool. He's just reiterating, just let it go. Mm-hmm. And it's subconscious, but over time, it's like, yo, what the hell is I even worried about? Like, just it's gone, it's done. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we need that soundboard. Sometimes we need to be able to say what we feel and what we think without judgment. We need that.
I think that's the problem with, like, music, is most people are. It just from the outside looking at, from being a producer and just seeing so many artists, I feel like a lot of people are trying to follow a script, trying to get somewhere in music, versus being yourself. I tend to follow artists that are themselves. I don't care if you sound like Chicken Scratch, but if you sound like something, okay, I can, what I'm saying, I can follow this. This is different. Then I gravitate towards you. But if it's something that sounds scripted and you sound like everybody else, or you sound like he always be like, yeah, that dude sounds like such and such, or he sounds like him, or he sounds like I don't want to listen to anybody that sounds like somebody else. So I feel like a lot of people
I agree.
don't get around people that they can be themselves around. They get around people they think they need to be around, or people that gas them up. Some people just want to be alone for the ride, and I feel like that's probably what that situation was. And they were trying to get something out of that whole ordeal, and we just got caught wrong place, wrong time.
Cool.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Yeah, man.
Rest in peace, Juice WRLD.
Definitely.
Yeah, his fam, you know what I'm saying, got to deal with
family,
that now.
man.
And that's somebody lost a son,
Right
a
before the
brother.
holiday, right after his birthday.
Exactly.
It's just so many factors that compound. Yeah.
Yeah, and so much to offer to the culture, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool.
In essence, he did. I mean, even though like it's sad that people go out like that, I always look at like death as someone adding something to the universe that may have not always been like light wasn't shed on that. So now it's like, okay, cool. This is a conversation we need to have. Versus, oh yeah, no, he's whatever. It's like we need to have this conversation.
How do y'all feel about like people saying it was kind of like manifested a little bit, like how he was talking about John Lennon and like they died on the same day, or how in Legends he states that and I quote, he says, what's a 27 club, Legends don't make it past 21. And he died a few days after his 21st birthday and stuff like that. And I'm not sure that that's true or whatever, but it gives me chills. Even they had like people making TikToks and everything, like little videos to his song, like having fake seizures and stuff like that. And then it's crazy, and this is prior to his death. And it's like, it just make you think.
Yeah. The words are powerful. You speak
Words are really powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Oh, man.
Very, very powerful.
Words are very, very strong.
Yeah.
What you say, you will eat.
Facts.
And that's why, But even saying that, like, leading in, and I'm not trying to change the subject, but, like, for this, what we're doing right now, I was, like, saying this is what I'm going to be. I want to be, and I'm saying it live, like, I really want to be one of the number one influencers when it comes to music in the DMV.
Right.
I'm going to be, not I want to be. I'm going to be.
Right. Manifest.
So but the stuff that's led up to this right here, it really has. What's up? Everything
Just
good?
hopping outside real quick. Sorry.
So,
5.
yeah. Everything's good in there? Cool. But yeah, I feel I'm always big on that. Like, yo, what you should say? Like, I suck. Like, no, you don't suck. Like, chill. Like, yo, chill with that. I don't like that. I don't like it around me. Like, one of the things when I had my fan swap, I had a video podcasting on Drawing TV. It was dope. I'm gonna bring it back next year. And man, I had and I love her. She's good, but she was so negative. I'm like, yo, no. Like, if you cannot greet people in this manner, just deal with me, and I'll deal with them.
Right.
Like, I was very, 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 like, and everyone knew that.
You gotta be protective of your energy.
Exactly.
Your energy is very real, and we transmit and also receive energy from people, either subconsciously or consciously. And I think once we are aware of what we bring to the table, we have to protect that. You know what I mean? The energy source. Like right now, this vibe is unmatched. Like I was telling Lay and her partner over there, like to meet someone like yourself, Frank, that has passion for the music, that's not an artist, for me is big. You know what I mean? To see someone just as passionate as I feel about my skill set and what I do as an artist, you are that passionate about showcasing artists and giving artists the spotlight or putting on for the DMV. We need more of that here, man. Since I moved back from like the Atlanta area, I've been looking for that here. I've been here since about a little bit after 2010 back to this area. I'm from here, and I've been wanting to curate that here. And just to see you doing what you're doing for me is just like, that's energy. That's going to come back tenfold, man. It's definitely needed. And personally, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's good.
Talking about energy, I have to put that in the shit out there. Let you know, like you claiming being the most influential influence in the area. I second that.
Everything work out, they're gonna be like, yeah, I remember Frank the host. You feel me? He really helped me out. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, I know him. I'm like, yeah. You better know him.
Yeah, man.
It's highly appreciated, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's everyone has their lane.
Yeah.
Everyone has their lane. And, man, it's so much great people, you know what I'm saying? And this is the thing, too. At the end of the day, like I said about the circle, like having your close circle, what I realized is that this is the secret that I realize everybody's a person.
Facts.
Yo, if you can just get, like, I've sit in the room with some huge, like, this is a crazy story. I gotta tell you this story, all right? Yo, I have to tell you this story. Look, so I worked at a restaurant a long time ago. Whatever is Micron. All right, so one of the guys who actually was one of the people, the big CEOs at the beginning when Micron was blowing up, okay, made computer chips. He was coming to my restaurant. Yo, dude got money. He was like, yo, everybody, I pay for everybody in here. I mean, we're paying for everyone in there. This dude, I'm like, who's this guy walking in here? You know, I'm like, this. He was real weird. He would be outside in a nice. He had a Thunderbird. You know, the last one they made. He had like, you know, it was like. And then next day he was in a Cadillac, bro. CT. Well, you know the yeah. So he's out there.
CT, the hatchback, like the sports utility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm like, bro, like, who is this dude? Like, every day he has something different. He said he had these huge cigars. He's coming in there. And he's like, you hungry, bro? So, cool. So, like, true story. So I go in, and I saw him outside crying, like bawling his eyes out with his music loud. It was real weird because this dude didn't care about who's around him, which showed me that really he's a person, and so and then on top of that, I was like, he doesn't care who's around, and he must be somebody of stature because of where we were, because he didn't care. So come to find out, he was the CEO of this guy. He's like, I stopped and talked to him. I said, yo, bro, I said, you okay? You know, sir? He was like, yeah, I'm fine. Why do you ask? I said, you out here crying. Like he was bawling his eyes out, like, so I stopped. Everybody else was watching him, you know. I stopped and talked to him. He came inside. He was like, this guy, I like this guy. So I'm working. He's buying me drinks. Like, I want to buy this guy a drink. So the next week, yo, every day he's coming in. He was like, I want to take you. He want to take you out. What day you off? I'm off on Friday. Great. So I go on a walk on. I go on a ride with him on Friday. I don't know this guy. So he's like, this is like, we roll up into the Cadillac dealership out in, it's a Lexus Cadillac dealership on Route 50. Okay? We roll up in there. He's like, which one you like? And it's night. And I said, listen, I'm not getting out of this. I'm not getting out of this car, touching nobody's car. He's like, nah, which one you want? I was like, yeah, I like this one we driving right now, but I'm not getting out of this car. And especially in Fairfax. So he said, yeah. So I look up, his name is on the dealership. It's his dealership. All right, so I'm like, okay. So then he takes me, we go back to the hotel, and because I worked for the Holiday Inn, so like at that time I was a restaurant manager and a bar manager. And next day, he's like, what time you get off? I get off at such and such. All right, he scoots by. He was there on time. Take me to his house in Clifton. His house is massive. Like, I ain't never seen a house like this in my life. Because we go into Clifton, and you go up this hill, and then the hill goes down, and then goes to the right. And the houses are like, 16 bedroom mansion, lake in the back, jet skis in there. Huge. And so I'm like, yo, who is this guy? I didn't know who this dude was. We go into his house, his basement. He took me to his basement. His basement is like 3 apartments put together. It is ridiculous. I ain't never been in a house that big. He has from his pool had a waterfall going from his pool down to his man-made lake down at the bottom of the joint. It was crazy. Dude had money. So anyway, he showed me his vacation. How we went to the island last week and last year and all this crazy stuff. Dude had money. So this goes on for a few weeks. Then he goes missing. So I go. I was like, yo, it's kind of weird. I go to his house, and his wife comes to the door, and then he runs up behind him. Frank, where you been at? I was like, I was trying to check on you. I haven't seen you in a while. And his wife said, you can stay for a while? I said, yeah. She calls a lawyer, and the lawyer comes and says, I want to talk to you, talking to me. I said, do you know talking to him? I said, I don't. I said, I just know that he's been coming by, we talk, da-da-da. And then he takes us at the ice cream. This is crazy. So the story, this is the true story. So the lawyer, he takes us to all the ice cream. The lawyer is like, you can ride with me. I'm riding with the lawyer. And the lawyer said, this guy's worth a lot of money. And we don't know why. Because he doesn't hang out with people like you.
Right.
Okay? He doesn't hang out with people like you. You know, we looked you up. You work at the Holiday Inn. So are you here for his money? I said, I don't even know this guy. You know, like, I just know that I built a relationship with him. I don't know him.
Right.
And so the lawyer was like, he looked at me and said, you really don't know who this guy is, do you? I said, no. He said, he's one of the big guys for Micron. Like, he is one of the biggest, like, he's one of the big guys. And they were forcing him into retirement because they were going into a different route. Okay. But they gave on, he's still loaded. Anyway, he was super depressed. I treated him like a human.
Right.
His family couldn't understand it because he wouldn't, he was super depressed, but he was still liking to me. So, long story short, to the end of the story, I should say, he calls me and said, Frank, come to my house. I want to talk to you. I said, okay. Now, at the church, I still go to church, love God, all that stuff. And so he was like, look, you're a good guy. I found out you go to church. He said, can you do me a favor? I said, yeah. He said, can you take my family to church? Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, I can do that. Okay. Then his wife calls him upstairs and they showing us all these pictures of the dolphins and stuff like that they all on vacation and we having a good time. He says, my daughter likes you. My daughter likes you. I don't know. That's cool. My wife likes you. I'm like, oh, okay. Takes us to ice cream again. I don't know what it's about the ice cream thing. This is crazy. We get in the joint and we go to the store. I know this is a long story, but we go to the ice cream store. And his daughter, he gets out the car, and his daughter said, "I hate my dad." You know why? Because I don't never get to see him. He's always out. He never really spends time with us. And I was like, this is awkward now. And something this guy did. He took us to ice cream. He never asked you what kind of ice cream you wanted. He just bought you ice cream. I'm a grown man. I gotta pick my own ice cream. But he came back and he gave us his ice cream. And I'm sitting here now. It's awkward in the car because she's like, my baby, And she's like, she didn't eat the ice cream.
Down behind his back like shit.
But everything I learned from this whole incident, he committed suicide the next day. He asked me to take his family to church and watch after his family because I genuinely cared. I didn't care about his money. I cared about him.
Right.
And he committed suicide because his family didn't love him. Wow. He wrote a long letter, and I was in the letter, actually. Wow. And he committed suicide. He said, because I realized that all the money didn't matter, my status didn't matter. He said, and the people were only around just for my money and my status, and no one was there for me.
You were the first person.
And I was the first person. Wow. And that's why he called me to come in.
That's amazing.
And I that still right now I got goosebumps just from that story.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie, like, yo, it was tempting to, like, yo, you give me a couple thousand, but I never asked for money. Right. For the ice cream, I was like, I'll pay for myself, man. I didn't need him to pay for it.
Right.
He insisted to get the ice cream for me. But he was like, yo, everybody's out for my money. I never asked him for no money. I didn't even want the ice cream. Ice cream is the only time that he ever paid for anything for me. He said to me. But in that letter though, he wrote in that letter, he said even his wife, he felt like his wife was there just because for his money.
Wow. And
mental health is important.
Very important.
But noticing, I started the whole story to say, the person, the individuals that we meet every day, they are important. And if we can learn how to love people right from the get, and that's a strong word. If you can love a person like, yo, I show nothing but love. You see me tomorrow, man, and listen, we just firstly met, and you say, Frank, I need a hamburger, bro. Like, and I'm like, yo, I only have $4, but you let's go to Burger King. I got you a hamburger right now. Like, most people can't do that.
Right.
And I realize that as of recent, I realize that most people can't do that. And I feel like, and I'm not boosting myself, but I feel like I learned this last year that I got this power, the power to love people right from the get and forgive that others can't. Who's next?
Real quick,
we're on the podcast right now, but Brandy's telling me now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're doing an acapella, so like if you guys could just keep it on just a little bit, because I mean usually we have the instrumental running, so it's not a problem.
Lenny's doing an acapella?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
So the last part of that is it.
Where would you laugh from that?
Take it right down this hallway.
All right.
Yeah, to the left. So I just feel like that. I realized over the years, that most people can't just love people just from who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what you do this, so what you that way, but just loving them right from the get, and you don't matter that they do this or that, bro. Like, I find out that most people can't. I thought I was. People say, "Oh, you too nice." No, I just really love you. I want the best. I want the best for you.
Thanks.
Like straight up. That's why I called you and I said, "Yo, don't charge me, bro." For
I
that.
told somebody that story too.
Yeah.
I was like, he told me a story from his grandfather. And it's amazing that you said that because I recently lost my grandfather. My grandfather was an influential person in my life, and he always told me things, and he always made statements about things that keep me focused and keep me honest to myself. So when you told me that, I just laughed and said, okay, I get a feel for this guy already. He's like, he took something his grandfather told him, he's applying it to his life. That means this man has either seen some things or he's headed somewhere. You know what I mean? So I pay attention to a lot of things, and like we were talking about energy before, like I get that energy from you. Like you seem like a very genuine person, and that's tough to find. People that are genuinely putting themselves out there. Like you didn't have to share that story. It's a very personal story. But just being comfortable enough to share that with us, like that's dope. It says a lot. It says a lot.
I feel like life gives you a lot of stories too, and you learn from.
I hear that because even some days I'll be like, people like, oh, even like people like, oh, you help such and such out, or you help them out. I don't help them out. I'm like, why? They can help themselves out. You're like, they clearly can if they ask for it. Well, what if they use you? I say, well, that's not on me, that's on them. That's their karma. You feel me? I just gotta know at the end of the day that I have good intentions. If I know I had good intentions the whole time, whether if somebody comes cuss me out, oh, you this, you that, I'm in well, you feel me? So it's good to have that. I feel like over the years I kind of like got a little cold-hearted, kind of sort of, but I try to get back to like the nice ways and everything because everything falls back on you. It doesn't matter what anybody else does.
It does.
But I need to hear that story.
Intentionally, so I've been through a lot, man. But I went to a Girani Coffee House. I remember this like it was like yesterday. There was a girl, and I walked in. She was on the right hand side, and she was just sitting there like her head like this, like head down, and it bothers me. Like if I see somebody sad, like it bothers me. I was like, dang, I walk away. I'm like, it just does something to me. So I'm like, I'm trying to, in my head, I'm like, I gotta figure out how I gotta talk to this person. And I went back and I said, I'm gonna give me a coffee, but whatever she wants, I'm gonna pay for it too. And she looked at me and said, me? I said, yeah, whatever you want, go ahead. Now, she was like, okay. She gets her cappuccino. She got like some expensive too. I'm like, all right. She wasn't playing. So I got it for her. Open mic happens, right? The next week. All right? The open mic happens and she says, I was contemplating suicide, but someone bought me a coffee. Bro,
That's great.
I was like, what? Like, I was like, yo.
Yeah, it's amazing how things like that happen. I don't talk about a lot of things that deal with suicide so much, but I was in a particular situation where like I'm a mental health advocate myself, and I don't like to take the credit for being in positions to help people. It's not me. I think it's a higher power putting me in place to help someone
I agree.
where they need to be in their life. So I was in a position where it was perceived that I was going through something, but I was used to actually keep someone from jumping off a 3-4 story building. I don't even know how I ended up on top of the building, but this guy was getting ready to jump off of 4 stories, and I was able to be there enough time to grab him and to pray over him and tell him that his life meant something. And the funny thing about that, this guy ended up not committing suicide. His mom came to me, found me, and told me, she said, yo, my son's been going through a lot of things with women, and he doesn't value his own life. You know, and she was like, I'm glad that you were there at that point in time to help my son get through the situation. And I told her, I said, ma'am, I can't take credit for being there to help your son. I said, something put me there to help him, you know. And
I usually don't. Well, I do tell stories. Let me tell you why I tell stories. Because the reason why I tell stories like that is because those stories encourage other people to go and do something. Because a lot of times we see someone sad and we go right past them. But I intentionally, I started out saying that, I intentionally go and make sure I bless up every day.
Definitely.
Like, if I don't have, like, my coworkers, they like, yo, like, what you got for lunch? And I ain't have nothing, man. I'm like, all right, yo, I got the spaghetti. What you need for lunch? Don't worry about that. Do you want the spaghetti? Yes or no? And I give it to them. And they, they might not have, but I intentionally, and that I'm really, it makes you feel like, well, no, I don't want, like, if I don't have anything, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say anything. I'm not looking for you to get that back to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you don't got $10? All right, I got 10. Here's 10. You going to have it. And I don't even ask for it back because I want people to start, to me, everyone around me, I would like for you guys to be that, be that for someone else without having the expectation of someone else coming back and, And as of recent, like, I had to really start to really watch myself and guard myself and what I do and how I do and certain things I have to say, okay, this is something different, but this right here, like, if someone's in need, I'm gonna help them out. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, what you give out is what comes back. And so I personally, like, okay, well, if I was in need, or if I was in that position, I would want someone to be there for me.
That's how I always think.
And not be like, like, oh, when you gonna give me my $10 back, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's scrappy. You know what I'm saying? Because people are people, man. And at the end of the day, everybody responds to love. I don't care who you are. You respond to love in your own way. But everybody, it's a necessity. Everyone needs to have some type of love.
Man, if I could show you my marketing deck, it's part of my projection to create the human experience. It's intentional for me, like, to create, like, these type of conversations and to pick people's brains to see where they are, to meet people, real people, because we all, like, have passions, dreams, and desires. They just come in different shapes, forms, and directions. But to have that human experience, it makes us appreciate what each other are doing and what we're doing as well as artists, as individuals. Because we gotta wake up we have to wake up in the morning before we can start doing anything else. Anything past that point to me is extra. So I try to appreciate every little thing along the way.
That's good. Lenny just walked to the table, back to the table. Call Emily over here. Can you, Emily? I'm
gonna step away for a little bit.
That's cool. Emily, both of y'all come here. Come to the conversation. If y'all don't mind, please. He's stepping away for a second. So, I kind of wanted to. Now that you've come to the table, but we have this podcast, and we start out with different topics, and I love having a conversation with different people with different perspectives. That's why I called. I like when you came back. How was your set? It was good. You had a good time? Good. Can't wait to see it. But I wanted to bring more people to the discussion because there's different perspective here. And so we were talking about mental health and talking about, anxiety, depression, and I personally think in this culture right now that we live in, that a lot of people deal with the anxiety, the depressions, and stuff like that, and we go through a lot of emotional ups and downs and roller coasters. And first of all, do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. Second of all, what do you think? Because not just pointing out the problem, I want to actually, what do you think are the solutions to fixing that? And the reason why I ask that question is because sometimes some of us don't think about the solutions on it. It's just we just deal with it. I'll deal with my anxiety. I'll deal with it. Oh, it's just a part of my life. I have anxiety now. You don't. There can be a way out of it. I'm not saying I'm not a doctor, but there's a way. There is a way out of it.
I would say the only thing, I guess, stop it before it happens. Like, when you go to school, you used to be guidance counselors. Why not have actually a psychologist? You know what I mean? That's trying to do this shit. You know what I mean? From a young age, to make sure that people aren't, you know what I mean? I guess. How about, make sure they're growing up on the right track, psychologically. If they're doing checkups for other things, why not mentally?
Before
no
they're
one goes
adults
from,
and can't function.
I've never been to a psychologist. I never had a mental checkup. So you can't be surprised when people just, or, snap or something like that. Or, you know what I mean? Be surprised when certain people do things that they never, I guess, were asked about, or there's no signs of it. You know what I mean?
I feel like you need to start teaching people it's okay to be yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry. That's a human function. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to go through stuff. But at the same time, so I used to have anxiety every day. I'm not gonna say suicidal thoughts, but close to it every day. But the only way I got through it is by me talking to people and being around people. I was scared to be around people. Even talking in front of people, I'm not gonna say it makes me nervous, but I get a rush of energy. But just talking to people and being around people and just being around not even like-minded people, but people with different aspects or different views helped me get out of myself and get out of what I was going through, because it's like you're living in a fantasy world, in the actual world, and once you step out of that, then you see that it's bigger than just you, and you appreciate everything, and it's like, okay, well, what was I really anxious for? What was I really scared of? What was I really running from? And I think that's the problem. Nobody wants to be themselves. Or people are scared to be themselves. So once they teach that in school, I think, I'm not going to say things will get better, but I feel like a lot of problems that we have as a whole wouldn't happen.
True.
Yeah.
So
I think opening up that conversation when kids are younger, because I think a lot of kids don't like to talk about it because they think oh, I'm being dramatic, or I didn't. Yeah, so opening up that conversation when you're younger so that you know the signs and when it's not normal.
Yeah.
So.
And educating the parents too, because some parents oh no, you tripping. That's my parents. They go sit down with you. Something wrong with you. You crazy. But
now you can sit down, you can get your tail whooped,
so
nah, Dad, I'm really going through right now.
Growing up with my grandma, if something was wrong, if I didn't feel good, or if it's maybe I had some thought, certain thoughts, my grandma would be like, oh, it's just, you're tired, and try to brush it off. So I think it's because of how she grew up, and because of how a lot of parents and grandparents and older family members, how they grew up, they just project that onto us and think that we're okay, but we're not.
And the thing is that what I learned now is that I feel like my parents and my grandparents, they went through so much, and you guys are really messed up. And here's the thing, and I say mess up, but if you get what I'm saying. So this is the thing. My grandfather, my great grandfather was just getting out of slavery, and grandmother actually great two greats. She actually married a white man. And they were both
green ass.
Yeah, it is. So they were both ostracized from both sides. And so thinking about you're both outcasts, and now you have to raise 12 kids, and from you guys are outcasts now, but they're outcasts with the mentality I'm outcast, and now the outcast is training up these children. You know what I'm saying? And then the outcast children, now have to train up their children, and so now it gets passed along with all that outcast. You know what I'm saying? And so that was something I had to realize is that they were raised up. They went through all this, and they taught anxiety. They taught depression. See what I'm saying? They taught that to their children, and it's passed along. Yeah. And now we think it's okay when it really wasn't okay. And so when we talk about our grandparents and stuff like that, no, that wasn't okay. You know, we brushed it under the rug, or we didn't deal with it, or we dealt with it the best way we can. And the things, whatever you don't deal with it, is actually being taught to the next generation. It's passed like a baton to the next generation. And I learned that everything I learned. My grandfather passed away a couple years ago, and I was always wondering who was this white guy on this picture. And he was like, actually, that's my dad. That's my dad. He actually married my granddad. He married my mom or grandmother or whatever, which was unheard of in Southern Virginia. And actually, right now, I go down Southern Virginia, KKK's out there. Yeah. That's a reality. That's a reality of where I'm from, Southern Virginia. So that's, and they grew up there. So just imagine that pressure that what I'm saying, mental health wise, that was passed on to generation to generation, and now having to deal with it as our culture right now, like really realizing that, snap, my family has dealt with depression for years and anxiety for years, and we never dealt with it, and now I'm having to learn how to unpack all of that and get better and heal my family and myself from that.
Right there. I was about to say the same thing. It's like me talking to my parents and my grandparents. It's like I'm just speaking my own, what I'm going through, and they're like, their face is like, yo, I was going through the same thing. Like I feel that right now. Like sometimes I have to bring them back to reality and let them know, like, yo, you my parents. So like I'll pretty much describe myself, and there's like, yo, I do everything you just said. So I just start naming like different situations. Like, yeah, I've been through that too. I'm just like, why is it taking me until I'm about to be 25? My birthday's actually tomorrow.
Hey, birthday, happy birthday.
Appreciate it. It's like, why is it taking me this long to actually learn my parents? I never knew my parents like I do, or like I've learned in the last year. And it's like, it's helped me grow and it's helped them grow. So I think the conversation needs to be had.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because like I feel like as I get older, the more I learn about my mom, but it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it was the other day. I just found out something about, I don't remember, but I was just like, I didn't know this, but my brother was like, yeah, we found this out a while ago, and then I was just like, it just shouldn't take this long. Like, we should actually have a conversation, and like I shouldn't be like, yeah, I don't really know what my mom does, or something like that. Like when people ask, and you just it's kind of weird that you're like, I don't know. Like I don't know what she's been through. I don't know her past. So it's just it's
important for us to learn. And then when you learn, it's like, okay,
then
you can unpack it.
Yeah, I think it's just because like they're trying to protect you when you're younger. Like they're not gonna just start talking to you about, you know what I'm saying, everything. And then they're hoping that you don't go through the same thing. But we all go through like pretty much the same things. Like we have like different variations, but like everybody, humans are all the same. We all have like the same needs. We all want love. You know what I'm saying? So there's really nothing new under the sun. But
yeah.
But I think that's lost, and just like America is like a big melting pot of different cultures, and it's, instead of us just sitting there like, oh yeah, you're kind of like, I look at other cultures and I think it's cool. I don't look like, oh no, I gotta stay away from you. I can't listen to that type of music, because that's like, what drives you to do the things you do, even if someone doesn't like me because of the way I look. My thing is, well, why? What is it about you? How did you come up? Like that for some reason is interesting to me.
It is too. Well, that's how I got, when Pathija was here earlier, I learned from a friend of mine who's Indian as well. And I mean, he would just break down stuff, and I mean, he would know it. He'd be like, oh, that's low class in my country. And I was like, low class? What's that? And he was break down to me how like they go still by the low class. That's the class system. Like, yo, like low class. His family literally his wife is white, and so his wife goes on his property, and they wash the lawn off because his wife is white, because they're not in the same caliber of class as he is and his family is, and they're high ranking in Buddhists. So my question was, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I want to ask questions like, well, what is it? Like, what? Why? You know what I'm saying?
That's
So one thing that's helped me like with like anxiety and stuff like that is like Ralph Smart. There's a guy named Ralph Smart. He like talks about, he just gives good advice or whatever, but he says like every action is either coming from a place of love or fear. So when I think about like issues with money, like anything that you think of in this world is really separated between those two things. Like even when parents like don't want you to marry a certain person or whatever, like it's because what they're afraid that you can't take care of their daughter, or they're afraid of what somebody else must think. You know what I'm saying? But when there's love, there is no fear. So I feel like
all like that. Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to with everything.
All around the world.
We can love each other more than, we will all heal.
Yeah. That's
and
good.
it wouldn't be no worries. We would all share and things would be in balance. But fear is like, I mean, what good could come from you being afraid? You know what I mean? Like,
That's right.
I mean, like if we break it down to like, so I think I look at humans as like an animal. We are in the animal class. Fear is like there's a certain chemical that gets released in the body when you fear, so it helps you to keep yourself safe. But like nowadays, we don't really have the problems that they did back then, so we're overusing certain chemicals in our body, so that's why people have problems. So I mean, fear is I wouldn't call it fear. I would just say awareness. But like nowadays, we think in the future too much, and then we think in the past instead of thinking like right now, what's going on right now. It's like I'm thinking about what may happen. I'm thinking about what did happen. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
it's just viewed in so many ways around the world different. But it's the same. It's just the same, and that's what I said. But when I was talking about that whole thing with the India, I was shocked because I didn't know. I thought it was only in America we deal with stuff like this. I mean, I know it might be naive to think, but man, it had me ask a lot of questions, and that's why I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm interested to know about everyone's culture. Something else that I learned about different cultures in that culture is that the eldest man, whoever the oldest man in the household, if he's alive, he has a say over that whole family. And so if he's alive, the person whose kid he lives with them, and they make the money comes to him, and he divvies out the money to make sure everything is good. You don't go out there. You might be a millionaire, but you don't go to buy a Mercedes unless you go talk to granddad. And I was like, what? And they respect their elders like that. Like he has the say, and he has the best interest of everyone's heart. So he's not gonna like, oh, you bring all the money here, I'm gonna buy the Mercedes Benz. No, he's like, no. You need a Mercedes Benz. Go get a Mercedes Benz with your money.
Until you get in that one family that the guy is greedy and crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So.
But in that culture though, and it's African culture does that as well. Indian culture, and some Asian cultures, I should say, they do that too. That's how they are. It's like that. But then you do have the extremes. It's like, like I get the Mercedes, you have a bike, okay? You're the millionaire, but you gonna drive the bike, okay? But I thought it was fascinating in learning that these cultures, a lot of cultures outside of America, they really do respect their elders, and that the man who is the oldest in the family, he has the most say in the family. They come and say everything. Everybody, we don't eat no chicken in the house. That's what they do. No chicken in the house, because he said no chicken. They really said it's kind of crazy. I know no chicken, but but yeah, I just think it's fascinating to really look at different cultures. It made me really look at their music. I like listening to music I don't understand or what's going on. I really do, because it's cool, because you learn stuff. You're like, oh man, like the whole Indian thing I was talking about earlier, how they were like dancing, and I was like, what is going on? But they really are like, everybody's involved. I love that all the kids, grandma's involved, everyone. It's amazing. It's really cool. When I went to Peru, we went up to Amazon, and we got off 6 hours down the Amazon, and his family. This is cool about music. And music is all over the world, and everyone answers to music as well, just as well as love. And we jump off the boat, and man, the whole tribe met us butt naked, and they were all dancing. And I was like, "What is going on? Y'all put some clothes on." But they're in the tribe though, and in Peru, the equator is like where the Peru is, and it's hot. So I'm like, man, I would want to put clothes. It's hot. I came back burnt, you know. And,
naked in the grave.
yes, and so they in the water and all that. I'm like, man, the guy got out the boat said, you have to put clothes on. They're not used to this, and it took about an hour for them to put clothes on. So, but anywhere in Peru, it actually is like you go in the store and you're like, oh, okay, that's how we go in here. We were on Quitos too, which is Quitos is a poorest island in Peru. But anyway, it's just fun. It's fascinating about going around the world, seeing different cultures and seeing what they do, seeing how we're so different, you know, and how we think it's weird for them not to have cell phones, and they think it's weird that we all have cell phones, you know. And it's really cool. And they like. Yeah, 1 minute you're petting the chicken, the next minute you're eating the chicken, you know? It was literally like that. I seen a girl grab the duck, and I'm like, no, I'm not eating that. They like, no, if you don't eat it, they gonna feel like you're disrespecting them. I'm like, well, they gonna feel disrespected today, because I'm not eating that. I was in Peru.
They eat guinea pigs, too.
They do. They did. They had a guinea pig, and they wanted us to eat the guinea pig, and it was a monkey. I was like, that thing came out on a stick. I was like, I'm not eating that. I was like, yo, I am the biggest dude up in here. I will fight everyone. I'm not eating that. It's a delicacy. I said, I don't care what it is. I said, I want French fries. I said, matter of fact, I'll eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when I get back to the hotel. I'm not eating that. And like legit, they were like, and it smelled. It looked like a little kid on the stick.
Oh my god!
Wow. I'm not making it up. Wow. You can look that up.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, but like if we, like you were saying, if we look at what we do as Americans, it's like, why do y'all do that? It's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of places are trying to, like, I don't know, there's certain places where they keep the culture the same, but there's a lot of places where they're trying to compete with us. We're trying to do things like us, and I feel like they shouldn't. Like, they should be appreciative of what they're doing. It's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that I left my cell phone in the hotel.
Yeah. And you didn't even think about it.
Yo, and these little kids, and it was, man, Peru changed my life forever. Yeah. Those little kids, the ladder broke. We bought a ladder from the hardware store. It broke. They went in the woods and got some wood and some banana leaves and tied that thing up and made a ladder within 5 minutes. I'm not kidding you. And that ladder, they were carrying solar powered batteries up that ladder onto a man-made roof. And first of all, the kid was 10 years old, and I had a problem. I would have to carry that battery 200 yards. And I got 50 yards. I was like, yo, I need to take me a break. That little boy put that thing on his head, like 10 years old, and walked the rest, like speed walk too, all the way to the thing. I was like, this little boy. I said, he gonna show me up no more. But I just thought it was amazing. Yeah. Like, these kids, they go fishing, they cook. They were using their bare hands or like a string with a stick, and it's catching fish. And I was like, why do you have a milk carton? It was like milk cartons all over the water. And I thought it was litter, but it wasn't. It was like water like these. And he said, no. When it goes down, that means fish is in it. And I was like, what? Yo, and so they were pulling them up, and it's fish. And I thought it was so cool, man. Yeah. And it was kids out there. It was little kids doing that. You know, and it was just amazing. Anyway, Peru changed my life. I want to go to Africa. That's like my ultimate goal. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to Safari, and I want to go to places where they tell you don't go. Like, don't go over there. I want to go there. Because
fear.
You know, even if it's dangerous.
Frank, they went to Africa and they come back.
It might happen.
I mean, you might not want to come back. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yo,
That's what they say.
You might see something and be like, I'm not going back.
I'm not-
Cancel the flight. Cancel whatever else.
you never know. Peru.
Now who gonna host then?
I know.
You gotta come back.
I gotta get somebody ready.
I mean, you got your podcast.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Make it work. Yeah.
I want to go. I want to go like to the. I went up and down the Amazon, which is cool because I saw the parrots like in a natural habitat. I saw anaconda, which is like kind of scary, but I held an anaconda too, which was cool. I could say I did, so I'm bragging about it. But again, just going around and seeing different cultures. I wish I could go to every country before I die.
That would be nice.
And get to explore and again get outside of the cities that are like, for the tourists, but actually go out and see. Like that'd be fascinating. That's why I said when I go to Africa, I don't want to just stay in the city. I want to go out. I want to see them. If they pet lions, I want to not pet lions. I want to be there and see you do it. But I definitely, or I might want to do it. If I had an anaconda to pet a lion, I probably would like, I pet a lion and held an anaconda. That'd be dope. But I definitely, and then try foods. I did try food. I got food poisoning when I was in Peru, really bad, like for 3 days. And I thought I was dying. I really did. And that was scary. And they were like, you want to go to the doctors? I'm like, the doctors didn't look safe at all, So, but I just, if y'all can, if you should. Anyone else been outside of the country?
Friday.
Cancun.
Going to Ireland in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
First time out of the country?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I bet you that's going to be fun.
Yeah, like the furthest I've traveled is like Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it.
Yeah. I haven't been to Canada. I've been to quite a few states.
Same
Same thing.
They're nice there.
Yeah. I bet. I've been to a lot of states. Probably I don't know, up and down the East Coast. But I mean, I lived in Boston. I traveled all the way back from Boston to here, and I stopped in every state. Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Arkansas. Arkansas was different. California, I love Cali.
I've never been.
I was about to say I would never step foot in Cali.
You never set foot. You never want to.
I never want to.
Why?
I'd like to see it.
I'll look at it from pictures. That's it. It doesn't seem appealing to me.
Yeah.
That's
Gotta
not
try it.
the whole state. It's not for me. It's not for me.
I don't know.
It seems so chill.
You said seems so chill. Yeah, San Diego, man. That weather is so amazing. Like, oh my goodness, you like this must be heaven. Like it's definitely like that weather is like perfect all day, right? Even if it's raining, you like, who don't even care? It's raining. It's so nice. It's that nice, like legit. You never been? You ever been?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you gotta go. And then the San Diego Zoo, I went there because I'm not a huge fan of the zoo at all, but that zoo was amazing. It took us 2 days to do the zoo.
My uncle he's like a millionaire, so we stay with him sometimes, and he lives on Point Loma, so it's like a view of like San Diego. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Might have to take all of us sometime.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
You know where we're gonna be staying.
He's a nice
That's
guy.
legit. Yeah. I would love to get every state, but every country is more important than me. I think that if I can experience life on what I dream of, I would love to go to every country. I would love to experience everyone's music as well, and because it's just so much out here.
Yeah.
And just to be open to it, because when you're open to a lot of things, man, you see and experience so much, and it really does like change your view on things. When I came back from Peru, legit, my view on life was like really different. Like legit, Peru was like crazy.
Hey, to cut in, did you try ayahuasca?
What is that?
Ayahuasca is when they see the shamans. It's like a hallucinogen that they take in Peru.
Well, we heard about some of that stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask.
You took it?
Not yet.
No,
You gonna take it?
Me and one of my friends have been contemplating going to Peru for ayahuasca. That's why I asked.
I didn't. Well, they gave us a drink and
It's like a drink.
but we didn't loosen
Trip.
it.
I said as I heard Peru, I had that.
No,
That's not like salvia, is it?
Nah, ayahuasca is it's like a life changing or life altering.
Oh, have you had it?
Is it
Nah.
like
No,
DMT?
that's what I meant. Not salvia, DMT. That's what I meant.
It's like
Yeah, it's
DMT.
similar to that.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that.
I heard about it. I don't know. Shit, they talking about going to the center of the universe or something
I'm
like
trying
that.
to do
Taking it.
that.
I don't know, man.
Maybe
See
like
the
I'm
afterlife.
just smoke.
DMT is a
Goddamn.
chemical that's produced by the brain. So if you just like if you can do music and DMT will be released in your body.
They say everything in the earth is like made of that, I guess.
What DMT? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an intense amount of energy.
I don't know, man.
I get that from my drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm
it
good.
can do that to you too.
I'm good. All right.
Or Monster.
Yeah,
Oh,
Monster
exactly.
is- oh man.
I
I don't know if y'all remember it was a drink called
Right.
Vault.
What?
Fault.
Fault.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That was I drank that one time. I stayed there for like 4 days.
No way.
Yeah,
What's Bolt?
it's I think they outlawed
They
it.
did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They
It was
stopped drinking
before
it.
anything before Monster and what's the other one? It was like when
Red
Red
Bull.
Bull first came out.
Yeah. That's
Around
what,
that time. It was terrible.
It was made by
bad.
Mountain Dew.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad.
We'll jack you up, bro.
Yeah.
So what was the, like, what did it say on the cover?
Like, it's like
You never go to
Big
sleep.
Danger? It says
Danger.
It's so
You will
bad.
never sleep
Yeah.
again.
People die from that. That's,
Yeah.
People have died. From
Yeah.
drinking
I had-
Monster.
heart palpitations.
Yeah, I don't mess with that stuff. I don't drink no more energy drinks.
Yeah.
Like even going to Starbucks, I'm like, just give me regular coffee. And I don't even go to Starbucks like that, but I just give me regular coffee. No, I don't want none of that extra stuff in there. Don't even put sugar in my coffee, cause I don't play that, man. I had 8 shots of espresso. This girl gave me 8 shots of espresso. That messed me up.
Wow.
My head was like,
On fire.
and I was like messaging people, doctors, like, yo, I need help right now. I'm done. And yo, that was the worst. Never do that again.
Yeah, that I can't do any type of like caffeine or anything like that. So
Since health wise, okay, all right, let's continue to talk now. By the way, we're on the podcast. You know that already, right now, right? So, my question is health wise, because you said you went vegan for a little bit. Okay, I went vegan all day today because I've had meat. But I know that's corny. But listen, so health wise, you've expressed tonight about your health and stuff like that. What's your overall your take on health and why go vegan? Why go? Is it vegan? Are you vegan? I know it's like different terms like pescatarian, whatever you call it.
Pescatarian.
How you call it? Pescatarian.
Yeah,
Pescatarian.
I don't know all the terms. I don't know all the terms. It's like something different for everything.
I mean, like honestly, I feel like just being that we're in like 2020 and it's so much like industrialization. Meat is not what it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. So the quality of the food that we're getting now is not there like it was. So it's not as nutritious. Even like plants. So there's certain plants that I avoid and I don't eat because certain plants, like I've been doing like research lately. They're saying there's certain plants that they are putting numbers for like protein and all of this stuff. It's not really true because the air quality is not as good. So the plants are not really taking up the nutrients in the ground, like iron, magnesium, all that stuff. Those are actual metals that are in the ground. So everything comes from the ground, and people are littering and they doing whatever to the ground. So it's like being that we live in a certain time, it's like I adapt to that time. And I know certain foods are not good for me because I'll fast and I'll eat something and it'll make me feel like trash, and then I'll fast and eat something else and it'll make me feel good. So pretty much like I'll remove myself from like how most people think today, and I think like people back then. Well, if I try this, will it make me? There's some foods I've eaten that'll make me feel like I was about to die, but it's more or less me testing to figure out my blueprint. And I would say to everybody, like, try different foods. If it make you feel good, then eat it. But if it makes you, no food should make you have itis. You should feel energized. Food is information, and if you're putting information that makes you feel like, well, you can't perform at your best, then you shouldn't eat that. That's your body telling you what you need to eat. So,
Food is information. I never heard that before.
yeah. Like
That's-
iron,
that's a
copper,
new
like,
one for me.
There's like food. Most food has like, I would say most food has water in it, and we get our nutrients and whatnot from the water of food. So like when you cook certain meats and you eat it like burnt, or you cooking all the water out of, like all the blood out of it, you're not really getting any of the nutrients that they're really saying that you're getting. But you're getting fiber, because fiber is just...
Are you vegetarian?
You're just selective.
It's like I would say like a fruitarian. I eat mostly fruits and vegetables.
A
Fruitarian. So like
I heard that term before.
Yeah. So like I'll wake up in the morning. I may not eat breakfast.
Do you eat peanut butter?
Nah. I used to. I love peanut butter.
What's wrong with peanut butter? What's wrong with peanut butter?
Peanut butter is gross.
Wait, so what do you? Can you just like give me?
That's different.
I'm interested
He
in,
probably got a reason why he don't eat peanut butter. Gross is one thing. But, now, what you gonna say? Well, now, remind you.
I mean,
I like peanut butter now. Don't
so,
tell me something crazy
even though
about peanut
like
butter.
it's peanut butter it was an important discovery. Who made peanut butter?
It's just peanut.
Man,
But who like
Who grounded the
thank you.
George Washington Carver.
Yeah, so these are things that people were making to feed people. So it's like these are not things that are like technically natural. It's just people crossing a whole bunch of
Wait,
stuff.
I thought it was a black guy that discovered it though. Are you saying he like
Yeah, George Washington Carver. He didn't
He's
discover
black?
it. No, he was taking
George
plants.
Washington Carver's black?
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay. So that's the reason why my friend told me stop cooking the coffee and chew it.
Yeah, like even like
My friend is like he's like super extreme. Shout out to you, Isaiah. But he's like, yo, you need to stop cooking that coffee. You need to chew it.
Yeah.
What?
I'm like, no, man, I ain't doing that. I'm cooking mine. Like, but that's real talk. But what you're saying is the same thing.
Yeah.
Like pretty much.
Yeah,
It's in the same. He was like, yo, like it wasn't meant for you to grind it up.
Yeah.
It was meant for you to eat it like this.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so can you tell me like what you eat during the day? This stuff interests me. But
Like I eat. So.
oh, you were eating grapes when you walked up.
Yeah.
I was like, why did you have grapes?
Yeah, I like grapes. When I found out, I was like, oh my god. I didn't want to like bring it in here, but I was like, nah. I'm sorry. I just gonna have to look at me. You know?
It's
But
funny.
like, I like grapes, but those are seeded grapes. So I don't eat the seedless grapes.
You were like, you about to stand outside too. I'm like, why? Just eat the grapes inside. We usually have grapes here, but they were seedless. So
I was taught that if you bring food, share it. I didn't want to share my grapes with you. I was.
that was good. I even asked him for a grape. He was like, yeah.
I
Like,
was
you can tell he was like,
yeah, but not like I like fruit. I know it's gonna sound crazy. I love prunes. Prunes are actually prunes are pretty good.
Yeah.
I like dates.
So you just eat fruit?
The fruit is good. And mangoes, I love mangoes.
But no salt.
Salt is actually bad for you.
But not really.
It is.
Oh, do you eat any salty thing?
Yeah.
Michaela, you must like salt. Michaela, she's offended
like
by
salt.
it.
Salad.
I mean, like I eat
salad and stuff. No.
Yeah, I eat salad, but like I eat mostly like I would say island food, like rice and peas, like plantains. If I do cook, I usually try to cook like once a day. So
Do you eat beans?
yeah, I eat
Okay,
a
there
lot
we
of
go. That's
legumes.
protein. That's all I need to
garbanzo
know.
beans, chickpeas, hemp seeds. I mean, like I eat a lot,
Okay.
but it's just
I'm
like
okay.
it's my whole thing is if I see it and if I see it in the store, I see it in the restaurant, I can make it myself. So I will try certain foods. Like I do eat cashews or peanuts, but like once every blue moon. Because if I eat it every day, I'm a sucker for food.
Mm-hmm.
So if I taste that peanut butter jelly sandwich and it hit right, I might have to get like 6 of them. So.
I'm feeling.
The thing that scared me, like, and why I stopped like eating meat is because, like, did you see that video with the FDA where they was like they need to start putting the same surgical warning on meat as on cigarettes? Like, you know how like on cigarettes it says like it causes cancer. Meat is like a big cause of cancer. Gastrointestinal.
Yeah, gastrointestinal.
Cancer is like the number one cause of death, and it's because of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was this year that they released like that they need to start putting the labels on meat that is high risk. Most times when they see that animal has cancer, they just cut it off and still serve the meat.
And they think that just cutting it off.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
I want my own farm. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, my mom
I
is
really
going to
want my own
school.
farm.
My mom is
Like,
going to
that
school
would
to grow her own food.
That would actually be like a smart thing. Like I don't know anybody's like religious backgrounds. Like I study different religions and whatnot too. If you look at the religions, they don't eat meat every day. It's a sacrament. They'll sacrifice the lamb and then they'll eat it. Or like they'll eat fish. Or they're eating bread and like herbs and seeds and stuff like that.
The Jewish community does that
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Buddhists.
Yeah.
Not just Buddhism. What's
Hinduism?
Hinduism.
Yeah. Like, they don't eat onions and garlic, too, because they say
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
It's something. I can't... It's a lot of stuff, but it's like a chemical in it that's bad. Like the chemical that makes your eye water. It's called like allicin or something like that. And when it goes into your body, so like if you have an infection and you eat garlic, that's good because it kills the bacteria. But if you consistently eat garlic, you have gut bacteria that you need. And when you eat foods like meat and stuff like that, you're putting bad bacteria in your body. So I mean, like, it's like if you want to eat meat, put it with something that's going to help you.
So what I realized is that people who are like health conscious like you, okay, all this stuff like you do, they learn and they pull out a whole lot of stuff from different cultures, religions, and stuff like that. It made me. Well, I tell you, my friend, he's like he always like read this book, and he's like, look at this article, watch this video, all the time. Which we went this rampage, and I learned about a lot of religions as well. But like he went through like why you shouldn't have pork. Why you think Muslims don't eat pork?
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, let me break it down. So he breaks down pork to me on another level. And he shows like, this is what it does to your hair. This is what it does to your brain. This is what it does to your stomach. This is what it does to your arm. And I was like, what the world? Like, you shouldn't eat pork at all.
Yeah, it's
we actually had ham that day. Wow. And pork chops. And he's like, and it was... That was my original crew, like 15 of us, and we all had like this big thing that we do every year for several years. We haven't done it in the last couple of years, but we buy all the food in the grocery store and we make it all, and we stay in the house for like 2 days, and we eat all the food. There's no more food. Like, there's almost no more dishes. Like, we eat everything, okay? But he starts one year just breaking down like chicken and pork. But the pork that day, he pulled it from why Muslims don't eat pork, and he broke it down and why pork is not, good for us. And everything is right. He was right. Like, because if you do research on it, you should not eat pork.
Yeah.
If you do research, like real research on it, and from the medical side of things and how pork is broken down from your body, you shouldn't eat pork.
I mean, they don't even really digest their food, their own food that well. Like most of it, they like digest into their skin. I think. Like the stuff goes into their toxins, like go to their skin.
Yeah.
I know that, but now I learned something else. You know what I'm saying? But bacon's so good. It's hard. It's hard. It is.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I like pork chops. Pork chops. Yeah. There was some gravy and some mashed potatoes. Like that's good.
Yes,
but it's like like I like burgers before I start eating meat. Burgers, I can eat a burger every day. But it's like these are things that. I was seeing how it made me feel. Like, I lost almost like 100 pounds. I used to be like almost 240, 245.
So that means no longer.
No way.
But
I feel like on the juice that's just always.
But like I ate chicken.
I used to be. I mean, when I was younger,
I feel like I'm not anymore.
I was kind of like anorexic, so they kind of gave me steroids, but it kind of caught up to me when I got. I think when I got in college, that's when I.
See, that's why I love talking about this stuff, because I dealt with that kind of stuff, like anorexia and stuff. So that's why but I love food. So now, like, once you go through that and then get out of it, you have a good relationship with food. It's I love it.
I like that. So we talked it from this guy, and then you talk about this because that's a problem, going through that. But you feeling good now? Yeah. Is it a problem in the culture now? You think can you spot somebody with that, with anorexia?
Yeah, I mean, like when I see someone who's like really skinny or something, or like I know someone who it's just all has to do with fear. It all has to do with like if you're afraid to gain weight, you're afraid of losing control. That's what it is. It's control. And I know someone that kind of that dealt with it, and she really dealt with it, and so she kind of but she worked through it, and now she's better, and I think it'll be different for everyone, but like it's just learning. You really have to learn ways to be okay with not being in control, and that I think a lot of people will struggle with that.
Yeah. I ain't gonna put you on the spot like that, but talking about it all. But that's crazy. I personally deal with eating too much. I don't eat a lot. I just eat the wrong things at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And like it'll be something like this, and I don't get home till like 11. I'm like, yo, I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? And then I eat. You know, and I'm like, and my wife is like, my wife is first of all is 4'9", okay, and she's like 89 pounds, and she eats a whole thing of ice cream. It's not good for her, but she doesn't gain any weight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like me is like totally different. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny even saying that. Like for her, we tried the whole thing with beef and stuff, and she noticed that she has migraines when she eats beef and steak.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I was like, so when we stopped doing beef, or when we stopped doing beef, we noticed that she has no migraines.
Wow.
And migraines will last for 3 days. It's usually that's when she had like a hamburger or something like that, and the migraine stays for 3 days. And so that was fascinating because you start to write down what certain things do to your body. So then that's when you
Just take a couple of photos.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to me.
So I just
I'm sorry.
talking about migraines, right? But you know, food does something to your whole body, and you don't. I never really realized it, but beans and rice sounds good right now. Like to actually try it, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop. You said something else too. I said I'm gonna stop, and I really do. I go through my season where I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do this or whatever, and I do. I went, like I said, 4 years with no beef, and that was just a decision after I learned about beef. I was like, I'm not doing beef, and I didn't do pork for a while neither. But you live in the country, you go back home, and then your grandmother's making pork chops. It's like, oh man, tonight is the night, you know. And I did, but that was the only time for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then, like I told you, moving back from Boston. So I was like, yo, I'll get you a nice prime rib. I'm like, oh, a ribeye. I'm like, oh, I'm done. And it's for 7 days straight, I ate steak. The worst idea, the worst thing in my life to do.
What made you just like?
They were taking me out, and I was like, they're like, you like steak?
Yeah.
I mean, I talked about that. I really didn't eat. I didn't eat beef.
You didn't get like some chicken or something. You was just happy. You just going to.
Yeah, we went to Capitol Grill 3 times that week. Capitol Grill is a very expensive a la carte steak place, and they age their steak, and it's amazing. So like they first started out like, oh look, they had a blue cheese and coffee encrusted ribeye.
That sounds good.
Porterhouse. I was like, and so they were like, I was like, coffee and blue cheese, like that's weird. When they put that thing out, it was amazing. Like, when they cut that thing, they were like, yo, I was joking because I like to joke around and talk to everyone. And she said something to me. I said, yo, can you cut my steak for me? She was like, sure. I was like, no, I was joking. But she was ready to cut my steak for me. And so that ruined my whole week. But after that, I was like, I can't do steak. The steak, it messed. I could feel in my liver. It hurt me. Like I was hurt. For your liver to hurt after 7, like you shouldn't eat steak 7 days period. But for your liver, for my liver to hurt, I was like, yo, something's not right about that.
Yeah.
But then noting also that my wife was having like migraines for 3 days straight when she ate beef. I was like, okay, well, beef has definitely an effect on the brain in a way that migraines, it's noted. It's like dairy. Chocolate does it too. Well, chocolate is from dairy, right? Well, milk chocolate is from dairy. Dairy is something else. That's something I can't do. I can't get the mindset. I'm talking a lot. But milk. That's something I feel like is so disgusting.
I just made a switch recently.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on a farm, and I mean, we had chickens, we had pigs, we had cows, so everything was like right there. So I grew up on just like fresh milk and all that stuff. But lately, like when I got to college, I switched to almond milk, and I just I cannot go back to regular milk at all.
I think there's something wrong with milk because like most people are like at least a little bit lactose intolerant.
But you're not supposed to be drinking another animal's milk.
Yeah,
Like if you think about it, it is from a cow. I'm sorry to say, like it's from a cow titty. Like in my head.
But there's calcium in it, so it's like
Whatever, yo, you can get calcium somewhere else. But like, okay, I hate to be so aggressive about that. But in my head, I'm like, this is from a cow's titty. Like in my head, that's what I'm like.
Is there breast you consume?
No, it's not. Your mom just is.
Oh my god.
I know it's kind of gross, but that's the truth. Humans' milk is made for humans, but you're drinking a cow, an animal's milk. It's the same thing as saying you're gonna go out there and you're gonna drink a cat's milk.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
But it's like,
You wouldn't even drink your mom's titty milk if she had it right now.
That's the thing
would
though.
not.
Your mom stops lactating after a certain period of time. You're not supposed to drink milk. Milk is only a catalyst to get you to walk and build your bones up until.
Oh my gosh, I'm a barista. I make lattes all the time. You take milk away. No, we have other things, but
You don't put. I'm about to say vanilla on.
we have cashew milk and soy milk. That's our other alternatives. We make cashew milk.
I see, like, for me, I stopped having dairy, like, kind of recently, because, like, so for me, like, my weight has been relatively consistent, but my skin, that has not been consistent, and so I took out dairy and switched to, like, almond milk and soy milk and stuff like that, and my skin, like, cleared up almost right away. So it's, like, interesting, like, just seeing, like, when you take out little things from, like, what you're used to and how it affects, like, your weight, your skin, all of that.
You said it's information. It really is. Like,
I mean, but like your body, like pimples. Pimples are actually, they're not. I know that people think they look ugly. They're beautiful. They actually tell you your skin is your biggest organ, so it shows you exactly what's going on in your body. So you can have pimples right here, and it's a reflection of something that's going on inside of here. But people don't. It's like, oh, my face is breaking out. No, you're breaking out for a reason. But people don't look at it like that. But
Yeah, I get that.
your body tells you what you need to do. But
Because that's why I stopped
like
soda and chocolate. I don't eat chocolate. Those Tootsie Rolls are killing me over there. I usually don't eat chocolate because I noticed whenever I eat chocolate, like right after, I start breaking out. And the same with sodas. I haven't had soda in, I think it's been like 4 years. But cutting those out, it's been like my skin, because back in middle school, I had a lot of breakouts and a lot of pimples. And then I cut those out, and now I'm good.
You never really think about it. I mean, I don't. It's hard for me. It's not hard. It's a decision for me. All my kids, my wife, they're all skinny. You know, and then it's like, you know, then it's me, you know, and so we don't eat as good as we. When I lived in Boston, it was actually a lot easier because we were separated from everyone, and I bought all the food. I still go grocery shopping, but I'm also a lot busier than I was back then. But really cooking once a day, you know, and really kind of having that control, you know, really does make, you know, a difference. But I think that we gotta take care of. I'm talking to myself. I got a person to, you know, taking better care of my health and stuff like that, because it really does matter.
I think that like the one thing, like I cook myself. Like I actually want to go into business cooking, but if you look at every culture, the family is cooking together. It's not just auntie cooking. It's like when you cook, it's like with music. It's people coming together to create something that's gonna, you know, fuel your body and make you feel good. So getting with your family and actually cooking a meal together, even if it doesn't come out the way you want, I'll say that it's a form of therapy, and it's like time to actually get to know your family. And I think that is going by the wayside. It's like, oh, let's go to McDonald's right quick. There's no family time with that, because I can take my nuggets upstairs and eat. Whereas if I cook a meal, we cook a meal together. It's like, nah, you're gonna want to be a part of that meal and share that with each other.
Yeah, and it's almost like, I like that, man. I like that so much, because it's like back, you know, in certain cultures, or back then, I should say, or you do find households like this too. It is a time for bonding, but also tradition is passed along. Where and then most of the time, most people are more healthier because they're taking the time to stop and cook and stuff like that. It's a good deal.
That, and also like foods that are in like the store aren't as processed as like a fast food, because you think about like how long the food is sitting there, especially like meat. Like it goes through a longer process when it's at a restaurant than you know, just at like a market or something like that.
Or like even spaghetti sauce. I mean, it's not really hard to make spaghetti sauce, first of all.
Yeah.
But but we would think it's a lot easier to open up that jar, though. You know what I'm saying? But how long has that jar been on the shelf? It's a question. But you know, it's just chopping up a few things.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I want in like Europe, there's no GMOs, so the food goes fast, much faster. Like bread lasts a week, but here it lasts like 3 weeks because they just put all these preservatives in there, and the food tastes so much better there because there's no preservatives and all these chemicals. And people are probably healthier because of that.
Yeah. I would say if you look at like, that's the one thing I don't get. It's like if you look at a label, if you can't pronounce the word on it, don't buy it. That's my whole thing. If you don't know what it is, don't buy it.
You mean in the ingredients?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like
That's like everything we do.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like then you cut
It's like
everything.
McDonald's.
I was gonna say.
But it's like,
What's into it?
but it's like to me, I don't know. This is me. It's like everybody here does music. Like you spend time curating something and creating something. It's like I know a lot of people like bread. I like bread. I'm a sucker for bread. I gotta stop eating bread. Bread actually breaks my face up. So with gluten. But I know like if I make the bread myself, like I can watch it rise and like cut it. Like just the feeling of having something that you made personally and it tastes comparable to something that you buy in the store. It's like it puts your mind in a different place. So when you cook something that tastes good at one time, you're like,
Is it cheaper to make your own food?
Definitely.
What?
You could buy, I mean, I know you don't eat chicken, not to cut you off, but you could buy a pack of chicken for like $10 and that feed the whole family, whereas you're going to spend $10 on one meal when you eat out.
But it's like I'm weird. Like I go to the store. I probably go to the grocery store every day.
Well, that's for
Every
fresh
day.
food. For fresh food, yeah.
So like if I buy it, I'm gonna cook it that same day or like 2 days later. And if I cook it, I'm cooking everything. So, but it's like
It's a lot of work.
It's not the.
But I love cooking, but it's a lot.
It's like I honestly like, and it helps me with music too because like. I'm not really good at writing stuff down or like rapping. I like to rap, like freestyling is something that I like. I'm just trying to get better with it. So I'll put on like music or like, sometimes I'll go as far as to setting my computer up and making beats while I'm cooking.
Yeah, it is really anything artistic or anything expressive. Everyone needs that.
Yeah.
Because it's just therapy.
I'm telling you that when you see people like trying something, like you're in a room with like 10 people and they're eating your food and they're quiet and they're not saying anything and you just hear people.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you just sit back like, wow. This is like me making a beat and I'm going to the studio and nobody's talking, everybody's just bobbing their head like,
Yeah.
wow, this is crazy. The feeling from that, I feel like it's almost like how you were saying earlier when you help somebody and it's just like, it's something that's just innate. It's just, it makes you feel good, but it's not, you're not trying to satisfy yourself in any way. You're just doing it just to do it. That's the feeling I get. So
I like that. There is. I like to go. I understand why you go to the store every day because you get fresh food every day. Especially if you eat fruits and stuff like that, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Trader Joe's. Or you go to be honest with you, I was joking with that, but to be honest with you, you know, I found out the best fruit is Loti, like the Asian market where they have because that's like a lot of like.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm excessive. Like last week, I drove to Baltimore to a Caribbean market just to go, just to see what.
This
they
is
had.
your hobby.
Yeah, it is. I literally like go to the store and
Grocery stores.
man,
It's like
every
going to
grocery store.
coffee
I would
shops
say
for
every
everyone
grocery
else.
store from. If you name a grocery store, I promise you I've been there.
Aldi?
Yep.
Okay.
Any grocery store.
Royal King.
Royal King, I may have not been there.
Okay, I just got.
May have not been
Okay,
there.
someone just mentioned it's like a redneck grocery store.
Well, I don't know if I
Yeah, that's what sounds like somewhere you don't want to go.
Wait, I think it's a grocery store. Maybe, I think it is. I've never been there.
What about
Yeah.
Giant Eagle?
Giant
Eagle.
Where is that located?
Exactly.
Oh, we got you
Pittsburgh.
too.
Okay, I would say in the
In the
DMV
DMV
area.
Food Lions? That's
Yeah.
what I'm for.
BJ's.
Yeah, Loti.
BJ's, yeah.
Yeah,
Whole Foods?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
I actually work a block up from Whole Foods, so it's my
Trader
lunch. Trader Joe's like all the time. I
I
got like
love
1,000
Trader Joe's. This
bags.
is cheap, but we don't have that in my house.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm lucky enough like where I kind of spend most of my time with this Trader Joe's, Mom's, everything. So I'm good.
I just went to Mom's for the first time. I thought it was like some, I didn't know what it was.
Mom's is awesome.
I walked in there.
I go to
I was
Mom's all the time.
like, this is weird. I was like, this is kind of set up weird. I didn't know what it was.
It's coming.
I don't know what to eat. I'm like, I'm confused. Like,
You spend all your time
I'll get this
figuring
app.
out. You should make use of it.
Yeah. That's what I'm working on. That's what 2020
So if you guys go to Mom's, if you don't, want to eat like dairy, like for cheese, there's like nut cheese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
What
good.
is
That's interesting.
Oh, yeah, because we make the cashew milk and like so we use this like cheese bag.
Where do you work at?
Happy Creek
I don't know what it
in the
is.
Plains. It's a coffee shop.
Isn't it Plains?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you like
I was like,
you
that's not
blend
Giovanni's.
the cashew milk and the water, and then you strain it with this really fine bag
bag.
thing, and then the rest of the stuff is like cheese.
Yeah, it's like ricotta, right?
Yeah, it's like ricotta.
When I like
I
say
mean,
if I'm gonna eat
it's-
pizza, I do that.
It tastes
It's
like
acquired
mashed
taste.
up cashews. It's like
I mean, to be honest with
You had
you,
it
like,
before? You had it before?
sometimes it actually
Yeah,
tastes
yeah.
yeah, like I mean, it's like peanut. It's like
Cheese
cashew
like
butter.
that, I feel left out. I have to eat regular food.
Yeah, he knows me all. He always
You
cook.
know what I mean?
I
Just,
like that.
you know, buffalo wings,
Yeah,
piece and burger.
yeah.
I'm typical.
Yeah.
But it's like there's foods like I'm pretty sure there's any food that you like, I can replicate in some form of fashion with plants. Even like doing, I mean, I don't eat soy or tofu or anything like that. I can make tofu taste like whatever. Like I fry mushrooms and I season them and they taste like chicken. And everybody tastes it and like, what?
You gotta have like
I don't like
you gotta
mushrooms
start.
at all.
No, I don't either.
hate mushrooms.
I'm not a fan. I don't know about a food truck,
Yeah,
but do you like cook the recipe? Or do you make your own recipe?
that's all it is.
You know what you should do that I used to do? Well, you probably don't eat cauliflower because I think that's like a cross breed. That's not like a real. Do you eat cauliflower?
Every blue moon.
Okay. Well, steam it and then season it like taco meat. Taste just like taco. That's what I used to do.
Okay.
This is, go ahead.
I was just wondering, do you want to like have your own restaurant?
Yeah, I kind of want to open like markets.
Yeah.
I can see that. I was gonna say something.
I grow foods too, by the way.
You do?
Foods and all that stuff. Yeah. So I know how to seed to sell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh okay. Something else. You fancy, huh?
Yeah. I want to move. Like when you talking about who's the Peru, I want to move down there.
You do?
Yeah, somewhere down there.
Yo, Peru.
Yeah.
That's when, like, man, they would make a fresh. They had the chickens down the road. They ran out of eggs. And he told me, hold on. He went down there and got the chicken from the farm. And he made it for me.
I'm not gonna lie, we used to have chickens, but we live in the city.
You can't have chicken.
Yeah, but my uncle,
You
he
got a
killed
dog,
them.
but you got chickens.
Yeah, we had chickens.
That's what's up.
turtles.
I'm mess with that.
Yeah.
Well, I want land. Next year, I'm trying to buy a house, but I want land so I can have my own. I want to grow my own food.
Okay.
And my grandparents actually were part of the Virginian people that actually had tobacco. So we have cropland, legit, still huge. I mean, acres and acres of land.
Where you from?
I'm from Southern Virginia, Sax, Virginia, Clarksville, Virginia.
You said Clarksville?
Clarksville.
That's where my family's from too.
Get the heck out of here. What's your last name?
William.
Oh. Are you serious?
Yeah.
We gotta be family. Because my mom's name is William.
What?
Kid you not.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
You from...
Small world.
Get the heck
Yeah,
out of here.
Clarksville.
Wait, how would you be like how like in a relation?
My family, there's no way you're Pulliam and from around the Spring
So would you be
area.
like second cousins or?
Could be.
I don't know, like...
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you,
You're starting to look alike.
like, past my generation and my mom's generation, there was like 12 kids, 15 kids, 20 kids. That's how they
Same here, yeah. Yeah.
So we don't know who we
So we don't know what happened.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, that's the second time I met somebody from Pulliam from down there.
Wow.
In this area.
Okay. Yeah, my grandfather actually, Arthur Pulliam, I think. Yeah, Arthur Pulliam. He married my grandma. She's a Garner. She's from Clarksville too.
Clarksville. So my family in Clarksville, my mom's Pulliam, and they're from Sax, and they own a lot of tobacco land over there in Sax, Virginia. But Clarksville and Sax are like 40-minute drive. It's not really far. Clarksville is the Lee and Coleman's.
Okay.
And so Lee and Coleman's is my dad's side of the family, and they're really huge in Clarksville.
Okay.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Like, no,
we gotta land on it,
we probably have to be like family. Legit.
Yeah.
There's no way, you know.
Yeah,
You're a Podium from Clarksville.
Small
No,
world.
that's crazy.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It is funny.
Ryan's phone is on your charger. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Because that's fascinating.
It is.
But yeah, man, thank you guys so much for coming to do the spotlight and coming here and also doing the podcast.
Pleasure.
You know, it's a big deal for me to meet new people. Like, I feel like y'all be family now. You know what I'm saying? I heard Michaela talk a lot tonight. You're not shy anymore.
You should all like Michaela. You're so shut
Michaela's not. We're family now. She just told me shut up too. Oh my goodness. But nah, it's, you know, I'm happy everyone came. You know, I feel like this is a night to remember. You know what I'm saying? This is an experience to be able to have. All you got strangers in here, you know. Like, I found out we might be family, like legit. You know what I'm saying? But just to come here and be able to have a conversation, and I have all of this. I'm gonna post this probably tomorrow. We still have 70 minutes to go, but we're not doing that. Don't worry. But yeah, you know, it's just real dope, man. Just different walks of life. You know, have a conversation, getting some good music. You know what I'm saying? And making history. This will go down as a night that everyone will probably remember.
Facts.
And everyone played a part in this tonight. Everyone played a part in this tonight. So I'm grateful that you guys all came. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. If no one's told you, we want to tell you we love you. We're out. Peace.